The Common Core state standards were developed in a state-led initiative by the National Governors Association and the Council of Chief State School Officers. Writers included Missouri residents, and 2 drafts were shared with the public, including Missouri educators for public comment. The English Language Arts and Mathematics directors for the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education conducted intensive reviews of every draft of the Common Core state standards and submitted feedback. In addition, over 275 Missouri educators reviewed the standards and submitted their feedback. After collecting all of this feedback, the English Language Arts and Mathematics directors for the Missouri Department of Elementary and Secondary Education had phone interviews with the writers of the standards, providing specific feedback from the educators in the state of Missouri. Missouri has had standards since 1996, beginning with the Show Me standards and transitioning to the grade level and course level expectations. Standards define the knowledge and skills students need to succeed in college and other post-secondary training and careers, and exist for all subjects. Beginning in the 2014-2015 school year, the Missouri Learning Standards will replace the grade level and course level expectations in English Language Arts and Mathematics. The Missouri Learning Standards define both the knowledge and the skills all students should master by the end of each grade level to be on track for success in college and career. Teachers help design the standards to ensure that they reflect the realities of their classroom and provide the clarity and consistency teachers need to make sure their students stay on track and are equipped with the knowledge and skills for success. The standards do not tell teachers how to teach, but rather establish what students need to learn. It is up to the schools and the districts to decide how best to instruct the students. The Missouri Learning Standards are the big ideas, which then leads to the course objectives, and then districts are responsible for developing the curriculum designed from these standards.
The Missouri Learning Standards will result in instructional shifts in both mathematics, English Language Arts, and literacy. There are 6 shifts in the English Language Arts and literacy, the first of which is a balance of informational and literary text across the curriculum. The Missouri Learning Standards will require a true balance of literature and nonfiction and informational text. The standards emphasize the importance of complex and challenging literature, referencing Shakespeare, America's founding documents, foundational American literature, and more. However, the selection of course textbooks, novels, and other resources remain in the hands of local districts. Missouri Learning Standards also emphasize the importance of reading across the curriculum, particularly in social studies and science. The second shift builds on shift 1 and is building knowledge in the disciplines. Students will use text to build knowledge about the content areas, rather than simply having the information disseminated to them from the teacher or through classroom activities. Shift number 3 is the staircase of complexity. The standards will expect a much higher level of text complexity than is currently being utilized in the classroom. In English Language Arts and across the content areas, the text complexity will increase in all grade levels. One measure of text complexity is the lexile range, which is a combination of vocabulary level and sentence complexity. As we can see on this chart, under the old standards, by the time students finished high school, they were expected to be reading at the high school level. Under the new standards, by the time students finish 12th grade, they should be able to read at a college level, thus making them both college and career ready. Shift number 4 is text-based answers. Students will be expected to support their conversation and discussion in class with the complex text that they are reading, rather than basing conversation on personal experience or opinion. Shift number 5 also asks students to draw from the text to support their arguments in writing. This represents a move away from the emphasis on personal or narrative writing. Shift number 6 is an emphasis on academic vocabulary. One of the most effective strategies for improving learning is to increase the academic vocabulary that students know and employ in the class and in their writing. In this side-by-side comparison, we can see the shift from the 4th grade grade level expectations to the Missouri Learning Standards In grammar, some topics that were currently covered in 5th and 7th grade will now be covered at the 4th grade level. In addition, the emphasis is on the use of grammar in writing, as opposed to grammar as a standalone topic. This shift in 6th grade from the grade level expectation to the Missouri Learning Standard, this shift emphasizes a more real-world connection to text, focusing on a multimedia approach to text analysis. At the high school level, we see the shift from the course level expectations, in which the requirements for technology were fairly vague and undefined, to the high school Missouri Learning Standards, which emphasize technology, particularly as it prepares students for college and career. Overall, the emphasis in the Missouri Learning Standards is to encourage students to be independent learners, persistent workers, and deep thinkers.
The Missouri Learning Standards for Math are designed to be focused, coherent, clear and rigorous, internationally benchmarked, anchored in college and career readiness, and evidence and research-based. There are 6 main instructional shifts with these Missouri Learning Standards. The first shift involves a more focused content, with each grade level emphasizing a few big ideas. This shift allows teachers in grade levels to concentrate on specific concepts and aim for clarity and specificity with these standards, so students can reach a deep understanding of the content before moving on. This allows for greater mastery of fewer concepts, which students can then apply to a wide range of problems. The second shift is to coherent standards. The mathematical progressions build upon students' mastery of skills, so students can connect the math they are learning to what they have learned previously and to create unified ideas. The standards follow a design by not only stressing conceptual understanding of key ideas, but by continually returning to underlying principles. Fluency is another shift in instruction for math. The students need to develop speed and accuracy with calculations and develop procedural fluency in the 4 operations of addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. This goes beyond the memorization of facts and procedures and into developing an understanding of the operations. This happens in the earlier grades, where students are working with a variety of strategies to solve problems so they can make sense of the operations. The students then use this procedural fluency in their later work in algebra. The fourth shift, deep understanding, ensures students are learning and absorbing the critical information they need to succeed at higher levels. They are mastering the topics before moving on, rather than the current practices by which many students learn enough to get by on the test. This shift to understanding requires students to make sense of problems and persevere in solving them by modeling their math and using appropriate tools. They justify their thinking and explain their reasoning to others. By developing an understanding, students have a better chance of success when solving unfamiliar tasks. The fifth shift, application, sets a rigorous definition of college and career readiness by helping students to develop the ability to apply mathematics to novel, authentic, and real-world situations, as college students and employees regularly do. The sixth shift, dual intensity, stresses that mathematical understanding and procedural skills are equally important. These instructional shifts in mathematics will give our Melville students a foundation for college and career success. An example in second grade involves students estimating lengths using units of inches, feet, centimeters, and meters. This standard was not in second grade in the grade level expectations and did not appear in the grade level expectations until fourth grade. In eighth grade, the Missouri Learning Standard involves students solving systems of 2 linear equations. This standard aligns with the current course level expectation for algebra and is not seen in the eighth grade grade level expectations. In high school, the Missouri Learning Standard requires students to make formal geometric constructions with a variety of tools and methods. Currently, there is no geometry grade level expectation or course level expectation that aligns with this standard. Missouri schools have been collecting and reporting data to the State Department of Elementary and Secondary Education since 1989. This data is used for education accreditation and accountability purposes, in addition to information that is related to federal program purposes. State assessment data is collected and utilized as part of the Missouri School Improvement Program, MSIP 5 accreditation process. Grade level assessment data is collected for all 3rd through 8th grade students in English, language arts, and mathematics, and in addition in the area of science for 5th and 8th grade students. End of course exam data is collected for all high school students based on the assessment given that year. Currently, students are assessed at the end of the completion of English 1, English 2, Algebra 1, Biology, and Government. Performance on all grade level assessments and end of course exams in English language arts, mathematics, science, and social studies account for 70 of the 140 or 50% of the points in the MSIP-5 accreditation process. In 2015, the grade level assessments and the end of course exams in English language arts and mathematics will be aligned to the Missouri Learning Standards. College and career readiness data is collected in several areas, including for college and career readiness standards 1 through 3, ACT scores, SAT scores, COMPASS scores, or ASVAB scores for students. College and career readiness standard 4 includes advanced placement, dual credit, or technical skills attainment information. College and career readiness standards 5 and 6 include post-secondary placement of students. This includes the number of students who have graduated and attend post-secondary education or training, are in the military, or who complete a department-approved career education program and are placed in an occupation directly related to their training. In addition to these areas, yearly attendance rates are collected on all students. There are many state and federal programs that require the collection of data in addition, including the following areas. Special education status for students, which is used for the planning and support of an individualized education program for individual students. A student's participation in Title I reading programs, including their growth and development as a reader. A student's English language learner level and status, including their country of ethnicity, which is used for the planning and support of a student's language learner program. And free and reduced lunch status for our federal lunch reimbursement program. The Melville School District has a tradition of high academic expectations for our students. As we continue the process of aligning our district curriculum to the Missouri Learning Standards, we will remain focused on what is best for the students of the Melville School District.